in the open debate. Mr McMillan, please.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer, at the outset, I'd like to associate myself with the comments made by the convener regarding everyone who provided evidence and also participated at this Stage 1 process. I genuinely found this bill to be fascinating and also enlightening in equal measure. The strength of the evidence that we heard certainly provided me with a lot of thinking to do, but also to try to fully comprehend the issues that were raised. Now, I did not expect the breadth of evidence to be as such when the bill was both so short, but also mainly facilitating the process to ask a voluntary question. I'm content with the report that our committee has produced, and equally so with the response from the Cabinet Secretary and a letter dated the 22nd of February. The Cabinet Secretary has clearly appreciated the genuine concerns raised by those giving evidence and also our subsequent report, and I'm pleased that at this early stage she has confirmed amendments will be forthcoming at Stage 2. I want to highlight a few aspects about the report, starting with the final section, that's the consultation section, sections 120 to 129. I found that the lack of consultation by NRS concerning, and in particular with women's groups, that's paragraphs 120, 121 of the report, I thought there had to be strong reasons for this to actually be the case. The Cabinet Secretary's reply was indeed helpful in this regard by stating that no women's groups responded to the public consultation and some were not established at this early consultation stage. With the NRS consultation taking place between the 8th of October 2015 and the 15th of January 2016, it could be possible that with the upcoming parliamentary elections, then the various groups in existence may well have been focusing upon other issues, including their own manifesto developments. However, with no response from any of them, I would have hoped that the NRS would actually have went back to them after the 2016 election. However, this work is clearly underway now, and I generally am thankful and am pleased that this is the case. Presiding Officer, I want to base the remainder of our comments with the following 2 points as the backdrop. The section 11 of our report, and that's the committee agrees that there has been a considerable social change with regard to issues concerning sexual orientation since 2011, and also section 75 and the quote from the Cabinet Secretary. That was, the census does not lead public opinion. The census has to reflect society as it is just now and ask questions that maximise the response rate so that the data can be used. Clearly, the 2011 census will have been more appropriate for that time, but it's right that the census goes through a rigorous analysis and process before it actually takes place. And our committee divided in one issue, whether the mandatory sex question should be binary. Clearly, it is a defining issue for many people, and I appreciate the strength of feeling on both sides of the debate. Now, my decision came down to the following 3 points. First of all, the ease of gathering data. Secondly, how the information gathered will be analysed and used. But also, thirdly, the consistency of data gathering. Now, I appreciate that the recommendation will have disappointed and potentially angered some people and organisations. However, I believe that the recommendation was made for the best of intentions by those who voted for it. I also believe that colleagues who took a different position did so for the exact same reasons. I believe that the evidence that we heard from Professor Susan McVie of Edinburgh University was very powerful. That was section 60 of our report, where she stated that it is a fundamental property of research that in designing a questionnaire, you need to be extremely clear about what you're measuring. Possibly controversially, I think that the General Register Office of Scotland got it wrong when it redesigned the census in 2011 and conflated sex and gender identity. It did come as a surprise to me, therefore, to read in the Cabinet Secretary's letter that the NRS testing seemed to indicate that a non-binary question will lead to a higher response rate. However, I generally would be grateful if the NRS could actually provide further information regarding the testing results and also the suggestion of maintaining a binary sex question. The conflation of sex and gender identity became apparent during the early stages of our scrutiny. Therefore, I'm sure it came as no surprise to many people that we highlighted this very much so in our report in section 9. Presiding Officer, just the final point is just regarding the DSD families, which have been touched upon by some other colleagues. I'd never heard of DSD families beforehand, and I'm grateful for the briefing that we actually received from them. And I genuinely was humbled about what I heard from them, and also the challenges faced by individuals and families every single day. Certainly, as the Cabinet Secretary indicated in her evidence, and also the letter, the policy memorandum will thankfully be amended to reflect more accurate descriptions of intersex and trans people. And I'm also pleased that our recommendation at section 119 will be progressed. Presiding Officer, I welcome the progress of the bill and the amendments that will take place at stage 2, and I'm pleased to vote for the general principles here today at stage 1. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I call Annabel